Isn't it funny? 25 years, 30 years now. Can you imagine? Put yourself in my shoes. It's sort of, who knew? I certainly didn't know when I took this job that this would be my life. And it dramatically shaped it and altered it. It's great to have the whole crew. I think on this cruise with all of them, it will just be nothing short of a gas. Bob Picardo, John Delancey, my great friends, everybody. Robbie McNeil, Tim, Jerry, everybody. It should be lovely. Fun. A favorite memory? I do, but it doesn't have anything to do with... I had a drink with Jerry Ryan on the deck of my cabin, and we said things that needed to be said and had been needed to be said for many years. And I found her absolutely charming, lovely, gracious, and smart. And that was singularly sort of pleasurable. And then, of course, the interaction with the fans, but I've been going on about this for years. There are no fans like the Star Trek fans. I find them so smart. It's never short of interesting, and often intellectually sort of challenging for me. I mean, it is rooted in science. They all know their stuff, and they're so hopeful. They're ideologically evolved, and I love that conversation. But I want to say very frankly to you, there's no fan base like this in the world. I fell into a pot of happiness with this fan base. I think I was most vulnerable. They only touched on it in one episode. I think it was called Loneliness. It was the opening of a season, wasn't it? Where they examined the loneliness of female command as opposed to male command. Because the men, of course, had their opportunities and they took them in space. But as a woman of childbearing years, I did not elect to do that. I didn't feel that there was any room for that. So my loneliness extended to having said goodbye to my fiance, or he to me. He broke up with me, took my dog with him, and never would I have children of my own. And the possibility of returning to Earth 75,000 light years away was remote, to say the least. I think at night when I go back to my quarters, there must have been an absolute flood of foreboding, sadness, maybe even a little bit of regret, followed very quickly by a knock on the door, and Chakotay would come in, join me for dinner, and reignite the flame of excitement for exploration in space. That's what she really dug. Oh, well, my God, all of them. I mean, that's too hard a question. I love the ones that, I mean, if I could work with Bob Picardo till the cows come home. He's so good. He's such a consummate actor. You've no idea. It's absolutely delightful to work with him. John Delancey I adore. Wicked, naughty man. But so much fun, you know. Put me in a bathtub with him anytime. I'd like to work with Jonathan Frakes. I think that would be fun. And I'd like to continue to work with Alex Kurtzman. I think he's smart. Well, my third book needs to be written now. I mean, the difference between memoir and fiction is they'll take a memoir, if you give them 25, 50 pages that they find satisfying or interesting enough, but they won't take the novel until it's completed. And my life has been artis interruptus for years. I keep trying to get back to it, but I'm a very focused artist. When I'm working as an actress, it's blinders. It's just the way I am. And I'm the same way with writing. So I have to get back down to my house in the south, and I have to just lock that door and tell everybody to stay away and finish the book. I'm desperate to finish it because I want to go on to the next one. But it's called The Irish House. It's a bit of a mystery, psychological mystery about longing and what happens to women when they don't get what they want. No, the convention experience does not affect my acting choices. Those are mine and mine alone, and I take them very seriously. what happens at a convention is interpersonal, and it's more about joy. It's immediate, and it's fun. No, the other thing is absolutely professional. This is what I consider fun. And it gives me an opportunity to meet everybody, say hello. Well, it's always nice to have a statue made of you, isn't it? I went to Bloomington to see the statue, and I was very impressed. I thought it was very well done. There was a little group there, maybe a few hundred people. We had a wonderful discourse. Then we had followed by dinner and lots of good talk about it. That's a feeling of real specialness. And I was very grateful for that, because there it will be. There it will always be. I guess until some kid knocks my head off or something. I'm very glad you brought that up. I'm playing Babe in Nancy Harris's new play, The Beacon, at the Irish Repertory Theatre. It's a dark, funny, dangerous, and quite sad Irish play, which is, of course, right up my street. And my manager called me and she said, I think you should read this play. I said, I don't want to do a play. I don't want to do a play, right? I mean, I've got a lot going on. The book, I keep trying to get back to the book. It's like trying to get back to the loved one. I read it and I said, it's good, but she said, read it 3 times over the weekend. Don't think. Let it percolate. Call me on Monday. And of course, by the 3rd time I'd read it, I was in love. And it's a muscle that needs to be exercised. This is where I began. It's who I am. And, when you walk back into that rehearsal room, I'm 18 again. And that's really a great feeling. It's not dead. It's far from dead. We're not talking about writing now.
Anything.
I'd like to write. I'd very much like to write and explore that part. I mean, I don't think you can, I think we all contain a multitude of, creative impulses and talents. And I think that writing might be one of mine. I'd like the series that I did last year, Sinking Spring, to be picked up for a 2nd season, because I loved working with Brian Tyree Henry. Sir Ridley Scott is terrific. And Apple is wonderful to work for, so I'd love to see that. But most importantly, I'd like Prodigy to be optioned for a 3rd season. So let's fly those planes and let's get this done, because again, for the children, it's very, very important. And it's, transgenerational. It's fantastic. It's very emotional. My place is certain. In a way, it's sort of, this sounds lofty, but I don't know what other word to use. It's a sacred place. I was the first female captain. That was television history. I was aware of it, but never more aware than I am now, 30 years later, when it hasn't changed at all. It's been an extraordinary journey into a world I never expected to know this intimately. But of everything that it's changed, my little influence on STEM, women in STEM, has been the single most gratifying element, I think, for me, as an actress, as a person.